Well, just one game on the schedule last week for the South Dakota women, and it was a big one, 30-point win at Denver. So anytime you get to say something like that on the road, I think you're pretty happy as a coach. And head coach Kayla Karius joining us now. And Kayla, you had a unique perspective for this one, though. You were not on the trip
Right.
And are not going to be traveling anymore. So let me ask you this. What's more stressful, watching the game or coaching it from the sideline, or watching your team play from so many miles away like you had to do last week?
Yeah, it definitely has its moments. I actually, oddly enough, was a little bit more calm than I thought I would be watching from home. You're part of all the preparation all week still. So I'm here at practice, and I'm here obviously with everything that's leading up to the game. And then as soon as the travel begins, I'm no longer traveling just due to my pregnancy restrictions. And so you feel like you've prepared them and you've gotten them ready, and they were in great spirits, and then you go and trust them, and you trust your staff, and they're in really good hands with those people, and clearly it was a great outcome, so everything worked out well.
And you've trumpeted your staff to me before just in our conversations, what a great job they do. Well clearly, you tasked them with something pretty important here, and they handled it very well.
They showed up. They did a great job. So Mike Jewett is acting head coach for the time being for all the road games, and then I'll still be attending all the home games. And then with Gabby Johnson and Taylor Ignoto, who were both on staff with us last year, that's the continuity that you really need to keep those players and those relationships going. And then with Mike, obviously having great experience behind him and being a former head coach, really understands the league and understands how to motivate our players and get them going. All three of them, I thought, and you could tell even on film when I was watching at home, like all the rest of you, I could really tell that they were collaborating, as we always do. I feel like our staff does a really great job of everyone having a voice and different people taking over at timeouts, and our team has been hearing those voices all season long, so it's also not like that's brand new, and they bought into it, and like we said, great outcome.
Yeah, everybody was locked in from the start in this one.
Right.
It is a real 40-minute effort here, and you guys have been getting a little bit closer to that of late, but it felt like this might have been as close as you've been even to this point in the season.
Yeah, I think you're right. Again, got off to a good start. This seems to be a theme for us, and second quarter maybe had a little bit more of a lull, but not as bad as what we've seen lately. So we continued to push on, and actually it still remained pretty close. And it's strange when you watch it back, because you think, oh, this game by the end score looks like it was played out very differently. And again, in the second half, you're looking at only an 8-point differential before we go on a 25-0 run. And I'm not sure I've seen that before, but our team was so locked in defensively. We really struggled with them here at home. They shoot the three really well, and of course they were just coming off of their great win against Oral Roberts at home, where they put up 102 points and hit 16 threes, and so they're really, really capable. It was one of those games we had to be locked in from the start, especially on a player like Emma Smith. By halftime, she had only taken one field goal, and I think that is sort of the mentality that we always need to approach it for every game.
Yeah, Emma Smith ends up I think she hit 5 threes here. She hit a 3 in this game, and those were her only points in this contest. But again, back to the defensive effort. I know there's been times this season when you've been a little frustrated with, just things seeing a little bit off on that end of the floor. Well, even when shots weren't necessarily falling for you, it felt like the defense carried all the way through, and that's ultimately what helped you create this separation.
Which is a message that we've actually been talking quite a bit about to our team. It's really easy to sit down and guard when you've just hit a three or when you just scored. It's so human nature to feel really good, and it's quite the opposite. When you're not making shots, you're not as likely to sit down in a great stance and to stick to the game plan and to really give great effort on the defensive end, unless you're consciously thinking about that. And so we talk about that quite a bit. It's about defending when you don't feel like it. It's about defending. You can always choose to defend. That's what we talk about quite a bit. And so we're getting better at that. Like you mentioned, I think it's a 40-minute thing for us, that we will show it in stretches and sometimes long stretches, but putting together 40 minutes is still out there for us. And I think that's a goal that we're going to continue to have the rest of the year.
One significant lineup change in this, Natalie Mazurk. It's her first start of the season in place of Walker Demers, who did not play due to injury in this game.
Right.
Natalie didn't have the same kind of production that she has been having, but that doesn't mean that she wasn't a presence out there. She's still making plays on both ends of the floor, ends up with 5 points. But I'll tell you what, that bench still effective.
Yeah.
Carly Duffney and Olivia Kiefer both with 12 points in this game.
Yeah, all those pieces played really well. Like you mentioned, it's been great to move Natalie into the starting lineup. It felt like it was the right time just from our perspective of things going on here, but she's been producing at such a high level, so it's hard to keep her off the floor. And great for her. You know, she got some good looks that I think normally she would knock down and just didn't in this game, but continues to rebound really well, continue to handle Michaela Minette and defend her really well inside. And really the only shots that Minette hit were, 10, 12 footers from the baseline, so nothing easy came inside. And then Carly Duffney, how can you not talk about her right now? She's really producing well. Olivia Kiefer is ready to shoot at any time, and in fact, anytime you have, especially a freshman, shooting at that high of a level, over 50% and over 40% from the three-point line in conference play, I think is tremendous. It shows that she's got great confidence and just in attacking and in offensive mode really, really gets the game, and I think those two pieces are great to have.
Well, and you mentioned confidence. It seems like with both of those players, that confidence has really been skyrocketing here as the season has moved forward. Now you look ahead to this week. You've won 4 of 5. Really had a chance to get on a bit of a roll here. You come home for a couple against Omaha and St. Thomas. Yep. No guarantees, obviously, but at the same time, you got to love where you're at and where you're going to be this weekend with a chance to get a couple more in the win count.
Yeah, we're getting closer. It's exciting to look ahead and say there's 3 weeks left of regular season play, and a lot's going to happen in this league, I think, in the next 3 weeks. For us personally, and as our team moves on in this journey, we are still not peaking. I think we're getting closer, and I think that that's really exciting too. We've figured out some things that really work. People are stepping up, like we've already talked about, and I think that that's great. Now you look at these two teams coming in. There is no easy game, and Omaha, you take that record and you scratch it away because they are within reach in almost every game that they've played. In fact, the last 5 games, they had the 14-point loss here this last weekend, and every other game has been within 5, within 10. They're just right there within reach, and it was not an easy game for us the first time around. We had to beat them in overtime, and so for us, this is a team we have to guard the dribble. They are constantly in attack mode. In fact, second in the country in free throws attempted, so they get there often, and they make them, and they make them count. And so it's a team that it's dangerous in its own right, and we've got to be ready to go for them too on Thursday.
St. Thomas obviously had a lead for much of that game. You needed Tori DePerry to come through in the final seconds to get that one up in St. Paul. How do you complete the season sweep against the Tommies this weekend?
Yeah, and that's, again, those were our first 2 conference wins, both on the road and both not easy. And so, again, you've got Joe Langben, who's so solid inside and is scoring at a really high level. Amber Scally has had a couple really nice games here lately, 30-point game here a couple games ago. And, they probably weren't at their best this last Saturday. Denver came back and got a win against them, but they have such good pieces. Jade Hill is playing at a high level. There was a lot of things that we've got to improve on since last time we played. We were talking as a staff too, and I think the other cool thing is to look back at those games that were very early on in conference play and think, wow, we've gotten a lot better. We've improved in this area. We can see a lot of growth here, or confidence in this player, or decision making has improved in our point guard play. And I think when you look back at those games, it's exciting to look ahead for this week and think, I'm excited to really see where we're at in this measuring stick. 2 good teams coming our way. We've got to be ready to go.
All right, you're going to be back on the sideline too, so I'm sure you're excited about that. But a couple big games for the Yotes coming up this weekend. Good luck, Kayla. Thanks for the time as always. We'll catch up again next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.